how much time it took you to plan this collectively and then implement it? You've been doing it for 3 weeks, you said, 4 weeks. Do you have any guesstimate as to your collective hours that went into this project?
Yes, so that is a great question, and that's a question everyone should ask. So we have actually a slide of what it would cost you. This is kind of our breakdown. So we had 5 people, 5 coordinators, and it's pretty much a part-time job for us, 20 hours a week. And social media is 24/7, so you have to expect someone, you know, if it's 2 a.m. and something happens, you have to be kind of on call. So it's day call, night call. But I'm actually a recruiter for one of the agencies here in Austin, and we just hired a social media person, and I know the hourly rate at minimum would be $20 just because you are demanding more time on their part. Don't have as much of a work-life balance as some others may have. So I would say if you wanted to hire someone entry level, $40,000 would be an ideal, decent salary. But pretty much, you know, we communicate with each other. I think it was 800 emails that were sent to each other since January.
Not including ones I sent out.
Right. So there's a lot of communication within the group. That's important because it's all real time. So if something happens now, everyone needs to know so they don't duplicate content.
Yeah.
With all the grads that you have out in agencies around the U.S., is there an opportunity for you to research what in fact the salaries are, other than this theoretical?
You know, that's ideally we would like to do that, but it gets a little bit difficult because a lot of people like to keep their salaries confidential. But, you know,
or I guess from HR people, what they might be saying the salary ranges are?
Yeah, we haven't looked into that,
Yeah.
but that's definitely something that would be interesting to look at. I know right now most of the people on our networks are mid-level to entry-level people. We do have, I would say, 5 to 10% of director-level individuals on our networks. And it could just be the demographics of the users as well.
The university has an annual research of newly hired graduates, and the college gives us a general medium figure for that. But after they leave the university, that becomes very hard.
Yeah, sure.
The American Association of Advertising Agencies, the 4As, does a survey every year of salaries by all categories, by size of agency and by region. Sometimes they'll respond favorably in terms of 2009 or 2010. Generally, they'll be more willing to give you a 2007 piece of data.
I meant to work.
Damon?
So we'll work on getting more time.
Yeah.
But it would definitely be interesting to look at Texas AdGrads compared to everyone else.
A question. Sure. You characterize the 3 networks, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, which I think is probably pretty consistent in terms of how everybody would characterize those 3. You still have MySpace, and then you've got Google Buzz. Where do you all think it's going to win out? I mean, if this, for example, MySpace is going to go away eventually, we'll never see it again. Will Facebook really wear out? Do you have any ideas on that? Where you think it's going?
Yeah, I mean, we probably all have a little bit different insight, but my personal insight would be MySpace is going to start fading out. Partly because of the trust within it, it's kind of dwindling. LinkedIn, I feel, is going to just grow incredibly. And if you look at LinkedIn today, they actually just changed the user interface. Yeah. So they're obviously making a lot of strides to increase users. But I feel, you know, in our program at least, we very much push for students to learn how to be professional in both their own space as well as online. So LinkedIn is becoming something that freshmen are joining. And when you're a freshman and you're connecting with a director, there's much more of a relationship that you can leverage. But I definitely think LinkedIn is going to grow. Facebook will continue to grow, although I do have doubts about Facebook. I feel like they're getting a little bit MySpacey, and they're changing things a little bit too often, I feel. And there are users who are kind of expressing discontent with that.
What about Google?
Google, the one where they tried to say they're not evil. Google Buzz, I feel, has not been as successful of a launch as it could have been. A lot of people just don't see the use in it, and it could just be that everything is connected through Google. That's my opinion, but I don't know what you guys think.
I know when it first launched, a lot of people, their first tweet was, "Oh, great, something else I can update my status on."
Right, yeah.
You know, and so people just kind of saw it as you're too late in the game. You know, I'm not going to participate in this.
That's what I was wondering. I mean, there's so many, and you know,
Yeah.
to keep up with all this stuff. Is,
Yeah.
I mean, I realize they all have a different role, as you all pointed
In
out.
Twitter, they kind of realized that, and so you know, at the end of your tweet, you can hashtag FB or IN if you want to have it put on your Twitter, I mean, on your LinkedIn or your Facebook account. You know, so you don't have to go to each different site and put the same status update.
And also, geographical social networking, whether it's Foursquare, where you can go in and check in at a location and share with your friends where you are. You're actually, one of Gary's friends and past students came and watched our practice presentation last night, and he is an active user of Foursquare, and he can become a mayor of a Starbucks, and he was saying if companies learn to leverage that relationship and try and offer deals or coupons, if you can see where someone is, they can see on their iPhone, oh, I'm 5 minutes from this coffee shop. If you go here, you get a free pastry. I mean, if marketers can really learn to target that and use it strategically.
Like with Google Goggles or something like that, you can embed coupons in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Targeting is definitely part of the future, whether it's geographic or behavioral. And we see that right now, but it's definitely going to start booming, I feel.
You know, the challenge, as some of you.
This is Neil Barnes. I'm sorry he came in late. Neil is our account planning person and directs our Center for Brand Research.
And so, you know, I'm interested in sustainability. And I'm reminded of a blog that was launched a couple of years ago by a group like, quite frankly, they were nowhere near as capable as you thought. They were similar. And the issue was how do you transfer it to your successors? And how do we find 5 or 6 or 3 people who are going to give it the kind of energy and attention that makes it a success? And so, you know, one of the things that I would just encourage everyone who's been involved in this thing is to really plan the succession process. And I know that you've documented some of the stuff and there's data there, but so much of it is just who you guys are. And, you know, I mean, I would stop by someplace and I'd find you guys all huddled together working on this thing for hours. So there's that issue. The other comment that I'd have is, you know, one of the phrases that I've been running into a lot during just the past few weeks is the notion of advertising equivalency. Advertising value equivalency. There's some new ratio that's come, right? It's AVE, I think. And, you know, the issue is, what's a fan worth, okay? And you may have seen yesterday, in the past few days, $3.50, right? $3.56 is a fan. Your fans are worth a lot to us. You know, there are some of the schools that you have up there regularly run ads. They have, as you know, they're privately funded and they're for-profit organizations, and so they have ads. And there's an interesting kind of equivalency here in terms of this is an ad for the department. And so you've got, what, 700 fans now or 600 fans?
Almost 700.
And so we can multiply that by, so make it easy, by $4.
We actually talked to Gary. He's going to give us a cut of that.
It's a revenue share.
You're a good finance guy, right?
Yeah, in terms of sustainability, we have been addressing and discussing this issue, and we feel that the bottom line is the individuals who are on the team have to be completely passionate about it. Passion is not something you can learn. It's something you just have. So we're thinking about having an application process where our professors will be part of the selection committee and determining who are these top students, because ultimately we want the influential to be leading this project. So we'll have an application process, and some of us will stay on for the summer and the fall possibly, just so there is one common member within the next group.
And I'd like to think it's kind of a prestigious position, because I know
For
when we
sure.
first started, everyone's like, who's the tweeters? Who's the tweeters? Who's the employees? So it was really neat. Everybody really wanted to know and know how they could be a part of it, really.
And a great thing for the university, we're registered in an independent study for this course. So we're essentially paying tuition to do this work. So they're getting a great deal. Y'all can figure out how to do that.
You got that right.